Apologize to me. 사과해요 나한테. 탑 시크릿. 그 컴퍼니 네임 플리즈.
NCSoft?
NC소프트. In Korean pronunciation. 개망신.
Similarly, we announced with Nexon.
Nexon. Harmful image is finger motion.
Korea is the future.
Korea's the future.
Yes.
하지만 스테디아 때도 레볼루션이라고 말했는 걸. 한국 인터뷰가 처음이신가요, 뷰저님이?
Yes, my first.
First meeting YouTuber. I'm glory 영광스럽다.
Oh, the honor is all mine. Thank you so much.
하나 둘 셋. 자, 구글 미국 본사에 엄청 높으신 양반 모셨습니다. 사실 유튜브로서는 처음이야. 잭 뷰저님인데요. Can I call you Jack, Mr. Buser?
You could call me Jack. That's perfectly
Jack.
fine. Oh, great. Well, my name is Jack. I've been in video games my entire life. I've worked in video games for over 25 years. I've spent many years at Google, leading various game initiatives at Google. And then prior to that, I was at PlayStation for many years.
플스, 소니에 계셨고. 자, 근데 좀 놀라운 소식이 잭 뷰저님이 주식백과를 아시더라고요. 어떤 영상을 보셨습니까? 제 영상.
Well, I saw some of your more recent videos. So I saw the video you were doing about the new law in California and the live service games and ownership.
오너십. 더크루.
Yeah. And I also saw your video about Saudi Arabia and what's going on in the games industry. So it was very interesting. We don't have any content like this in the United States. So I was watching your videos thinking, wow, I wish we had your content in the United States in English.
사우디아라비아 빈살만 스토리. 근데 미국 인 아메리카 no YouTuber like me? AVGN 앵글이죠.
I think there are plenty of YouTubers, but the way you cover content with such depth and precision, I've been in the industry for over 25 years and I'm watching your videos thinking, wow, I'm learning so much. And the way you talk about the issues is so compelling. Your production values are very high. It's quite unique. And I would also like to share your videos to my YouTuber friends in the United States. I think they would be quite impressed with what you're able to do here. It's amazing.
잭 뷰저가 단톡방에 공유해서 그걸 시발점으로 해서 제가 이제 글로벌로 진출할 수 있게 된다면 꼭 제가 잭 뷰저한테 비빔밥 불고기 한번 산다고 말씀해 주시죠. 근데 그건 그렇고 잭, 저는 잭한테 많이 서운한 게 있어요. 뭐냐면 in Korean pronunciation 개망신 이게 뭐냐면 스테디아. 잭이 스테디아 총괄이었잖아요. 그러니까 구글 클라우드 게이밍 서비스인데 저는 그때 돈 한 푼도 안 받았고 광고도 아니고 그냥 구글이 좋아서 스테디아 클라우드 게이밍 잘 될 것 같아서 스테디아 게임 체인저가 온다. 게임 체인저 이제 커밍 막 해서 홍보를 해갖고 100만 뷰가 나왔습니다. 그런데 스테디아가 1년 만에 망해버렸어요. 그래서 사람들이 그 망했다는 기사 나왔을 때 저한테 와갖고 막 조롱을 했단 말이에요. 개망신을 당했어요. 스테디아 뜬다면서 1년 만에 망해버렸네. 어떻게 된 겁니까? 해명을 해주십시오. 스테디오 총괄. Apologize to me. 사과해요 나한테.
Oh no, maybe I owe you bibimbap.
그렇지. 두 번 얻어먹어야 됩니다. 또 더블 비빔밥.
That's right, two bibimbap.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was one of the founders of Stadia. I actually was working at PlayStation on a number of their digital platforms. Most recently, I was working on PlayStation Now, which was the cloud streaming service for PlayStation. I got a phone call from Google, and they said, "Do you want to join Google?" And I said, "Why?"
Why?
And they said, "We can't tell you." And I said, no, it's okay. I love PlayStation. I'll stay here. And then they called me again. Please come to Google. I said, why? They said, it's a secret. And so I joined Google without knowing what project I would be working on. And it turned out that project was going to be Stadia. They said, we're going to build a game platform. And I said, there's only 10 people. How can we build a game platform with 10 people? And they said, oh, well, how should we build a game platform? And so we went from very humble beginnings with just an idea and a very small team to a platform that launched in many countries with a rich content library. That journey was incredible. It's not often that you get a chance in this industry to start an entirely new platform from nothing. Think about it. When was the last time an entirely new game platform was launched? It was probably the original Xbox back in the early 2000s. There are very few companies which have the guts to create a new platform from scratch, from nothing, and bring it to that type of scale. It was one of the best experiences of my career.
예, 근데 이거는 정말로 이제 대외적으로 잘 가공된 이제 정제된 답변인데 정작 제가 궁금한 건 Hey, Mr. Buser, my question is not that. 그 왜 망했냐? Why? 그냥 10명이라서 개발자가 부족해서.
Actually, the team is very, very large when we launched in 2019. So we have a full team. The reality of the games business is that it's very challenging. The games business is not easy, especially if you're going to try to release an entirely new platform.
아 좋습니다. 그래서 Jack, do you want to Stadia retry? No?
Actually, in many ways, everything that we built with Stadia and everything that we learned still lives today. So my role at Google Cloud is to give the best of Google to the games industry. In fact, we announced earlier this year that all 10 of the largest game companies in the world are now using Google Cloud for their games. So while I loved Stadia, I truly did and worked on it for many, many years, I think that Google is best served when we are giving the best of Google to the rest of the industry. We don't want to compete with the games industry. We want to give them the best of what we've built over the many years at Google.
좋아요. 아까 잭의 강연을 듣는데 제가 놀랐던 게 스트리트 파이터, 뭐 텐센트, 캡콤, 이렇게 많은 게임 회사들이 구글 클라우드 AI 기술을 이용하고 있었어? 왜냐면 인 코리안 프로넌세이션, 코리안 스탁 이제 국장, 그 아메리칸 스톡 이즈 미장 이렇게 불러요. 근데 미장에 AI가 잘 된다라고 해서 생각하는 건 엔비디아랑 MS 요 정도만 생각하고 구글이 AI 하는 줄 몰랐단 말이에요. 이렇게 많이 하고 있는 줄 몰랐어요. 그러면 구글의 AI는 지금 B2B만 하는 겁니까? 한국 게이머들은 구글 AI가 이렇게 많이 퍼져 있는 거 몰랐거든요, 게임에.
So gaming companies will use Google technologies of several different categories. AI is one, but also the live service platform of many games is Google technologies. Because our network is one of the largest networks in the world, it is extremely fast and it's truly planet scale. So many game companies are using the Google network and our tools for game servers and services in order to power their online live service games.
Like a matchmaking?
Of course, like matchmaking, or actually game servers themselves that are tracking hundreds of people all playing together. Oftentimes this is using Google Cloud. So AI has been a recent innovation in games, but actually Google has been a leader in AI since the beginning. We invented the foundational technology that powers modern generative AI. That is Google technology. In fact, Google DeepMind has been innovating with AI for games since the very beginning. Whether it was our work with StarCraft or our work with becoming the champion at Go, we've been with AI for games since the very, very beginning. The current AI being used by game developers is being used in two categories. Number one, they're using AI for game development. And number two, they're using AI to create new game experiences. Let me describe them both. So for game development, if you think about the industry currently, the cost to develop a game is becoming very, very expensive. Many game companies are having a hard time even surviving in the current market. Did you know that most playtime from players all over the world was actually in games over 6 years old?
League of Legends?
And that is one example. So for game development, it's so challenging to create a new game that most game development studios now are using AI to help them accelerate their work so that they can create a better game and try to break through in this very difficult market. So that's AI for game development. You also have AI for new game experiences. If you think about it, most playtime is actually going into old games today. So if you want to attract new players to a new game, you need to create some kind of new experience that they haven't seen before. There is no technology that holds more promise to create these new experiences than AI. So we are working with a new class of games. We are calling them living games, where they actually have AI running in the game during gameplay to create entirely new player experiences we've never seen before.
좀 구체적인 예를 들어줬으면 좋겠어요. 마치 개발에서의 그 NPC 채팅처럼.
Sure. So if you think about a live service game today, you have players that come into the game and a development team that analyzes that player behavior to try to figure out what the players want. It's a field called analytics or game analytics. Once they analyze the player behavior, they then pass the findings off to the development team that tries to create new content that the players will like based on their analysis of the player behavior. Once that content is created, it's then launched into the game. So that loop between player behavior, analytics, and new content deployment can take months.
month?
It can take months for this to happen. So, some game developers now are putting AI in the game so that the game can automatically figure out what the players want and then automatically generate new content for the players. That is one example of a living game.
개발자들이 수개월, 뭐 few months가 들어가는 그런 행동들이 제너레이틱 그 AI를 이용하면은 실시간으로 리얼 타임으로 될 수 있다는 얘기를 처음 들리네요. 그거 참 환상적인 월드인데, fantastic world.
That's right. In fact, a game can actually respond much more quickly to the players with this kind of system. However, that's not the only example. Let me give you another one. User-generated content, or UGC. There are many platforms that are UGC platforms.
유저 제너레이트 컨텐츠.
Yes.
오케이.
In these systems, oftentimes the players that create the content need to use some complex tools and maybe even need to understand how to do some scripting in order to create the content. But now with generative AI, players can just tell the game using their voice or typing in natural language what world they want to create. And generative AI can make the world instantly, just based on your natural language. This is going to make user-generated content, UGC, much more accessible to the entire player base because now you don't need to know complex scripting or complex tools in order to make very, very cool content.
아, 그거 좋네요. In Korean pronunciation, 똥손, like me, 그림이라든가 스크립팅이라든가 이런 거를 코딩이라든가 이런 걸 할 줄 모르는 사람들도 어떤 이런 발전된 컨텐츠를 만들 수 있다는 점에서 똥손이 행복한 세상.
Of course, imagine a game where you want to personalize your own avatar. And so you go to the shop and you look at the options for avatar personalization. And maybe you see something that's cool, but maybe you can't find something that's exactly what you want. With generative AI, you'll be able to just tell the game what outfit you want for your avatar, and it will just make it.
Tell the game, make the game. I want Blackpink costume style. 이거 말하면 making. Okay.
So you're an expert on the game industry, and I'm sure you're an expert on the history of games. Think about moments when there have been revolutionary technologies that have completely changed what a game can do.
하지만 스테디아 때도 레볼루션이라고 말했는 걸. 하지만 스테디아 때도 레볼루션이라고 말했는 걸.
It was revolutionary.
예, 특이점들이 있었죠.
That's right. I would like to use the example of the CD-ROM and 3D graphics. Games after the CD-ROM were very, very different. But they were adding features thanks to the extra capacity of the CD-ROM. After 3 or 4 years, you had entire games that were being designed specifically for the CD-ROM. Think about Final Fantasy VII. That game would have been impossible without CD-ROM technology. The same thing will happen with AI. In the next few years, we will start to see games that are just like the games that we know today, but they will be using AI for some features, maybe avatar generation, maybe UGC. But within 3 to 5 years, we are going to see entire game designs based on generative AI. These game designs will be completely different than anything we know today. This type of revolution happens every so often in the games industry, and I couldn't be more excited to be right on the cusp of this next revolution.
특이점이 가까워져 오는 건데 그러면은 게임 개발의 그 게임의 어떤 특이점이라고 하면 첫 번째가 뭐 CD-ROM 그리고 두 번째가 인터넷 온라인 게임
Yes.
그리고 세 번째가 스마트폰 게임
Yes, exactly.
그리고 fourth revolution is Gen AI 게임?
AI.
오. 아, 오늘 너무 재밌는데 이제 시간 관계상 last question. 오케이. 지식백과를 보실 정도면 또 이제 한국 G스타에 오실 정도면 한국 게임 시장에도 관심이 많으실 텐데 in Korea Gen AI 게임, 클라우드 게임 뭐가 특별합니까?
I've been in the game industry for a long time, as I mentioned. And if you want to know what the future of the global game industry will be, look at Korea.
코리아, look to Korea.
Korea is the future.
Korea is the future.
Yes. It has been this way for a long time.
오.
Korea was the first to implement true live service AAA games, the first to do free to play. The entire concept of a live service game today that dominates the global industry started here in Korea. Similarly, with AI, our customers that are the big Korea game developers are creating the most innovative applications for AI in games you can possibly imagine. So working with Korean developers and looking at the Korean market, you can see the future because the future of the global games industry we'll start here.
고개를 들어 게임의 미래는 한국을 보는. What? Korean game company? NC소프트, 넥슨, 넷마블, 크래프톤? Every game company.
All 10 of the biggest game companies in the world are using Google Cloud. And of course, many of these Korean game companies are in that top 10 list.
탑 시크릿. 그 컴퍼니 네임 플리즈.
So we've done public announcements about partnerships with NCSoft.
NC소프트.
So for instance, NCSoft has used Google Cloud to build their own generative AI model called Varco LLM. And they are using Varco across many of their game development activities. Similarly, we announced with Nexon, they're using our generative AI technology to detect potentially harmful images so that they can keep their community safe. So they're using AI for moderation. These are just two examples, but there are so many examples of Korean companies using Google generative AI to do all kinds of things in games today. When I say that Korea leads the future, I mean it.
넥슨. Harmful image is finger motion?
Okay. Many people think AI in games and they think art, and that's it. But today's games are starting to use AI across so many different things, both in-game and in development. This truly is the future of this industry, and you can see it happening now.
Thank you. Your good lecture, Mr. JackBuser.
Yes, who owes you 2 bibimbops.
투 비빔밥, 더블 비빔밥.
That's right.
불불 고기.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. I am your newest fan. I can't wait to watch the rest of your videos and tell everyone back home about the amazing work you're doing. It really, really is fantastic. Thank you.
Are you my fan?
I am your newest fan.
I call you G19.
That's the subscriber name.
G
Thank you very
family.
much.
Okay.
Hey, all right, I made it. 사랑호 지시백과.
사랑호 취식백화. 오케이, thank you, Jack.
시골긴 말로 홈런을 이어 연타석 말로 홈런을 노린다. 영상 끝 맨 뒤에 붙여서 뒷광고. G10백과 제2의 뒷광고가 바로
Virtual Private Network.
가상사설망 VPN. V만 무선 통신망 와이파이 없이는 살 수 없는 이 현대 사회에서 공공 와이파이를 이용할 때 과연 이 와이프를 믿고 써도 될지 그 보안성이 심히 우려된다. 이따위 뻔한 VPN 홍보 멘트는 조금도 톰하디 통하지가 않는다. VPN 사용 시 트래픽 패킷의 엔크립티드 터널 트랜스퍼를 통해 프라이버시가 보장되며 메신의 다크넷 모니터링이 되는 필수 멘트를 앞시고 들이미는 이따위 기술적 설명 때문에 벌써 시청자 30% 더 빠졌다. 씨발 광고주들 진짜 말 존나게 안 쳐듣는다. 도란검 도란링이 칼챔 국밥챔의 필수템이듯이 삼여신 능모드가 그랜마의 인권 서포시듯이 호버바이크 없는 젤다 왕눈은 상상할 수 없듯이 게이머에게 필수 인권급 도구로 떠오르고 있는 것이 바로 가상사설망 VPN. 중에서도 최고의 보안성을 자랑하는 초고격급 VPN이 바로 NordVPN. 왜 이 NordVPN이 왜 게이머에게 왜 필수템일 수밖에 왜 없느냐. 자 봐봐요. 예를 들어 내가 갑자기 3.1절 광복절에 롤 한일전이 하고 싶어졌어. 막 이순신 장군 빙의해갖고 자랑스러운 아리 한복 스킨을 입고 야소 요네 아칼리 쉔 체드 일본인의 일본챔 5인팟 상대로 펜타킬이 하고 싶어. 근데 한국 땅에선 롤 일본 서버에 접속을 못하잖아. 하지만 가능하다. NordVPN을 통해 3.1절에 롤 일본 서버에서 하객진 펜타킬 가능? 따봉. 예지가 일본이라 불편해? 그럼 을지문덕 빙의해갖고 50 신짜오 리신 세라핌 중켄치 중국인 중화챔 5인팟 상대로 남이궁 살수 대첩 가능? 아 근데 솔직히 까놓고 말해서 온라인 게임 해외 서버 접속 수요가 얼마나 있겠어? 우리 좀 솔직해집시다. 우리가 뭐하러 귀찮게 VPN 쓰는데? 재관이가 성인 게임 차단을 위해 도사견 마냥 도사리고 있는 성엄숙주의 유교 탈레반 대보모 국가 자랑스러운 대한민국이기 때문이다.
Warning, warning.
HTTPS 검열 성인지 감수성 2D 캐릭 성인권. 성인이 성인물을 못 보는 이 돌아버릴 대검열 국가에서야말로 VPN은 그야말로 도란 같은 필수템. 근데 검열 후에 한답치고 막 무료 VPN 막 받아 쓰시다가는 까딱 개인정보 싹 다 틀려. 그러므로 부품 중에 갓부품 노드 부품을 통해 안심하고 해외 야동 감상하자. 한국인 한양대 한화 출신의 한일인 한초수 한타자 말로 없는 두방 영상의 품번 좀 알려주세요. 야구 동영상의 품번. 우린 건전한 스포츠 야구 동영상이 좋다. VPN계 한만두 질풍 노드의 야구장 자유 입장권 노드 부품 개강추. 제가 또 물건 싸게 잘 떼왔어. 또 내가 존나 싸게 해드릴게. 이 영상 설명란 고정 댓글에 주유식백과 특별한 링크 클릭하시면은 노드 VPN 2년 플랜 73% 할인 4개월 구독 추가 가능. 73% 할인? 존나 싸네 존나 싸.
Shibilgagak Yursapal Day Server Rule Tong Han Kajang Paran Sokdo Gokpyong Upnan Internet Jayu Rule Enchim Havoner Il Suinun Hyunmyong Han Suntak NordVPN